Okay, guys, welcome to Sports Matters TV in association with WrestleSlam, the podcast. And guys, it does not get bigger than this. This man has had a crazy couple of weeks, but this week has been extra special. There's no doubt about it. Joe, first of all, greetings from Ireland and Cork, a place you know quite well from wrestling here many years ago. But listen, tell us, what kind of a week has it been for you personally? You know, BBC appearances, constant interviews. It's been a crazy week for you.
Well, thank you for the outstanding intro. Appreciate that, Jerry. It has been an insane week. It's been a lot of fun. I think it kind of represents how wrestling is right now. I think wrestling is always at its best when it feels like anything can happen. Any boom period in wrestling is at a time where anything can happen. And I feel like that's happened to me in the last week as well. If you'd have told me that I'd be number 4 in the big top 40 in the UK, that would have been a hard one to believe. It feels a little surreal, but to me, I'm very privileged and blown away with the fan support and response. It's been a lot of fun.
And listen, I think that number one is going to happen. Like we're seeing the surge. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like this is no lie. I was in Cork today, so I was driving through Patrick Street, and a Honda Civic passed me, and the tune was blaring out the window. So
Really?
I swear to God, it's like we were literally down by there's a shop called Hallmare, and it was blared, and I was laughing at my partner next to me. I was saying, "Listen, this thing is taking over." But like your fan base, first of all, is incredible, and I always remember at the time you done a song with Mark Cardona. Obviously, you know there was a match and stuff, and
Hmm.
we seen all that, but it's just so catchy. It's so good, and it can make me wonder what could be ahead through 2024 because we might get more songs, we might get an album.
Yeah, I think a big something that I've really tried to adopt in my life since, my wrestling career has been on an upward trajectory because I feel like I was treading water for a long time in my wrestling career. But when I started to go where the wind is taking me, like going just, responding to the opportunities that are available, that's when things really started to pick up. And, I kind of changed my mentality from instead of going, I want to achieve this, it became more about the process of becoming better, so just putting out the best possible stuff I can. And when opportunities arise, responding to them. And I feel like, given what's just happened, I didn't have any plans to put out music really. But after this, I feel like it's got to happen. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't planning out various different types of releases. So yeah, that is definitely on my mind.
And like Joe, you are very good. I'm not just saying it because you're here with us right now, but you have a very unique voice. Like you obviously sung a bit back in the early days, did you?
So actually, I did not used to have a good voice. So, and that to me is proof that anyone can learn to sing because I could not sing very well to begin with. So much so that my mum told me maybe the singing's not for you. So yeah, I know it broke my heart at the time, but over the years, like I guess I've just learned. Like I'm a better singer now than I was even when I started wrestling and started doing entrances, like I can hear the difference in my voice. And I think it's just like wrestling in the ring. You learn from experience and gaining knowledge and information. So yeah, I've had to learn to be good at singing. That wasn't something that came naturally, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Definitely. And it's obviously a good thing, Joe, because like obviously in the wrestling world today, it's good to have like I suppose the fact, you're a real wrestler in the sense of look, you've got a background in wrestling and obviously you're a good wrestler in general. It helps to have a good character as well. And the fact that you have, the great team song, you can multitask. That's obviously a good thing towards a big future in TNA and beyond.
Well, to me, being successful in professional wrestling, it was D'Lo Brown who summarized this perfectly for me. I saw him on a podcast, and someone was asking him, "How do you get into TNA wrestling?" And he said, "Show us something we've never seen before." That's what this game is. This is the circus. It's the carnival. What act are you? And it's like a lot of people want to just be the wrestler, and yes, we need those spots, but what happens when they're full? It's like you need variety. So you need to bring something completely different to the table. That's just my perspective and my take on professional wrestling. And this is what I say to my students, colleagues, like, everybody. When you're becoming a professional wrestler, it should be wrestling according to you. So what I do is wrestling according to Joe, and that should be as unique as you can possibly make it. Different is better than good.
Definitely. And what's the TNA locker been like these last couple of weeks? Because look, we're lucky enough to have a TNA star on every week. There must be good vibes, good banter backstage. Obviously, look, they're all rooting for you, Joe.
Oh, I was just thinking about this. Like I have to say it's been the most amazing locker room that I've ever been a part of. It's such a supportive, awesome, fun locker room. Like I have that feeling where I feel like I'm at university again. Like when I was at university, I just felt I had like so many people that I could conversate with and get along with. And I do really feel like that at work. And I haven't had that. I don't recall having that vibe in a long, long, long time. So I'm very grateful for that. And I do apologize to my colleagues who have probably had to hear my song about 100 times over the last couple of weeks.
Definitely. And we have to speak, look, obviously Scotland, it's just like Ireland. It's one of the greatest, one of the greatest places in the world. But obviously Scotland is fully behind you. They're super proud. It's a great country. Like, I've been to Edinburgh, Glasgow, some of the best cities in the world. It's obviously epic for these kind of, these cities to have someone like you to represent them, on the world map.
Yes, I haven't really thought about it like that. You know, when you mention that, it is weird. It's taken a little getting used to. Like now, if I go and see, like I went to see Tenacious D recently in Glasgow, and it's like it's you're getting recognized quite often, and that is a little bit of an adjustment, but it is really cool too. It's like it's still quite surreal at this point, and I think for me, as long as it's about and continues to be about just making the best stuff I can make, then I'll continue to move forward. I think when you get caught up in, the attention and all that, that's when things, you can take your eyes off the prize. But for me, it's like, as soon as I landed, I got some sleep, and then it was, I was back training with my PT, and we're working on like some music and wrestling wise. What am I doing? Like I'm very dialed in on just getting better at this.
Yeah.
And as long as I keep focused on keeping my eyes on the prize and just continuing to get better, it's just that approach, just trying to get better at everything every day. Like I say to my students that you should rank yourself out of 10 in all areas of professional wrestling and look at yourself and say, well, if I'm a 6 in this area, I've got 3 months to make myself a 7. If I'm a 5 in this area, I've got 3 months to make myself a 6. And I think when you take that approach, it's good things just happen. So I think that's what's happened to me. I've just tried to get better.
And there has been a lot of hard work. Listen, you've grinded very hard for many years. You've done, the indie scene's a big scene. It's huge across the UK, Ireland, and beyond. But like, you've grafted very hard, Joe. Like this is, I know the track itself it's a bonus, but you've grafted hard to get into this position. And I'm going to say it right here. I'd happily see you face Moose at TNA against all odds. I think that's a match. First of all, I'd love to see. It'll be a great match. I don't see why that belt can't be around your waist in the coming weeks, but that's something that should happen.
Well, hey, if there's who on the roster do you think has the best win-loss record against Moose? That's right. Moose he's the toughest guy in the locker room right now, but I feel like I've got his number, like every time that we faced each other in singles competition in championship environments, I've beaten him. And my goal, I was asked the other day what my goal is with all this stuff. And my goal is to be a draw for TNA wrestling. My goal is to be the guy that when they put me on the poster, they're like, yeah, this is gonna shift tickets. This guy's gonna do business for the company. And the thing is, though, I've never had a shot at the TNA Heavyweight Championship. This is what I will say. Make no mistake about it. The fans have influence. The fans absolutely have influence. So it wasn't just this song, like the concert I just did in Vegas, the fan response, it really kicked off in Philadelphia. Like it really kicked off in Philadelphia, and people noticed because the fans are starting to get that little bit louder, the reactions are getting that little bit bigger. That's what wrestling is about. It's about giving the fans what they want. If the fans demand it and the fans declare that I'm ready to move forward into the heavyweight division, then that is going to be listened to.
Yeah.
But all I can do is just get better in every area, and just, rather than focus on, the big long-term goals, just keep doing what I'm doing. Every time I go to work, try and deliver the absolute best work that I can with what I'm given. That's what I've done consistently. I feel like, since starting the program with AJ, I feel like I've been consistent every show from January. I feel like I'm on a real roll, and I just need to keep my eyes on the prize and just continue. And you know what? When that title shot comes, it will come. But when it comes, it will come for one reason, and that's because I earned it.
I love it. Now, I'm going to mention a wrestler that the world knows very well. Once upon a time, under the name Elijah right now. Now, there was a match between you and him announced for July in Newcastle in the UK, obviously, not wrestling. Two kind of similar guys in the sense, great wrestlers, great voices. This could be a match made in heaven, but is he a guy that you'd like to see come over to TNA maybe as well?
I mean, put it this way. I think if you put me and Elijah in a ring together, that's, without saying anything else, that's intrigue right there. There is business to be done between the two of us. And so much so that, so we're facing each other at North. And then the next night at my promotion, Discovery Wrestling, I've also booked Elijah, and me and him will tag. So the first night we're going to face each other, and the second night we're going to be on the same tag team. So I recognize the business in it, and there's a lot of moving parts in professional wrestling. There's a lot of timing is everything. So who knows? You never know when you're going to cross paths with somebody. But I would absolutely welcome him to TNA. Obviously, not my decision, but that's definitely something I think it's fair to say the fans would want to see. So I would be ready for that.
I love it. Now, I'm very observant in regards to the Eurovision. For some reason, Joe, I watch it every year. I watch it every year, and I watched Ireland qualified the other day for the first time in 6-7 years into the actual final. But listen, that could be something to look at maybe next year. And if United Kingdom don't want to take you, I'm sure you have an Irish relation that we'll happily take you. There's no problem. We'll take you. You can represent Ireland.
We can figure something out. There's probably like a long lost cousin or something. Let's figure out the rules. How Irish do you need to be to, I've probably got like a, third uncle or something who's 1/4 Irish. Is that enough for me to get into Eurovision for Ireland? I don't know. But maybe I could help you guys qualify,
It's enough. But would you do it? Just say, for argument's sake, look, we know how big your trick is. Would you represent United Kingdom? Is that something you'd love to do?
100%. 100%. So I was on BBC Radio Scotland the other day, and the host said that he thinks I should go forward for Eurovision. He loves the song. Now, and then so people didn't know if it was, if the tweet was just me joking around or if it was legit. But no, the BBC legit said that to me on air. They said, you should put the song forward for Eurovision. Now, the rules are, it has to have come out after September 1st or something like that, and it needs to be at least 3 minutes 20 or whatever the length is. So I'll find a way around it. I'll release something special on the 2nd of September.
And I can see it happening. I can generally see Joe Hendry.
It's something that the fans have joked and laughed about, but it now just doesn't seem that crazy. After having number 4, after beating Taylor Swift the week after she brought a new album out, that didn't seem very real at the time. So nothing is off the table for me now. Who knows?
No, it's definitely not. I think that could happen next year. I hope it happens. It'd be great to see it. And listen, we were lucky enough to have a TNA Impact Tour come to the UK last year. Surely, with this surge, Joe Hendry dominating the world and, being a Scotsman, surely there's a call, and surely you're the guy that will make that European tour happen again. Maybe this year, hopefully towards the end of the year.
Well, I know the person who is also listening to this call will laugh at this as well. But I was actually the one that made the last tour happen as well. I was heavily involved with the
I was
organization of
thinking
it.
that. I was thinking that.
Yeah, along with other people on this call. But I that is something for me as well. I was heavily involved with the planning and execution of the last tour. But now, um, look, that was I would say the most professionally difficult thing I've ever had to do. I'd never ran a wrestling show before, and then had to run the Impact UK tour, the whole tour, and every part of it. I had to have at least some involvement with, and that's a lot for one person. There was one night where I was wrestling. I wrestled twice. I wrestled Rich Swann and Frankie Kazarian, and I'm going, "What's merch doing? What's the security guys over there? Where are the chairs and all that?" Whereas now, and that was an amazing experience. Like I learned so much from it. But I think now I would love to come back and focus on being a talent.
Yeah,
So I think obviously as you've seen, there is a real buzz right now around what I'm doing, and I think it would be great if we could get over here um, promptly. But it's having had involvement with it before, I understand how big an operation something like that is. So when you do it, it's got to be done right, and that's what TNA does. It executes things correctly and properly, and so when we come to the UK, it'll be done right. And it's not my decision about when that's going to be, but whatever management wants to do with that, I'll support it. I'm all for it 100%. We love when TNA, and I know the roster loves to come over here as well. So it's yeah, I feel like for so many years the UK was the unofficial home for TNA,
yeah,
and so I think it's yeah, I just any opportunity we can get to come back, I'd love it.
definitely. And look, last of all, TNA obviously look they reverted back to that legendary name TNA. Obviously, it was Impact for many years, but TNA came back with a bang. I'd say they're absolutely licking their lips the fact that they've got Joe Hendry on that roster. It's a game changer for them and for everybody. But it's been what an incredible couple of months
I
it's
need to
been.
hire you as my hype man. I need
Ah,
I,
listen,
I need to hire
I'm
you.
just
This
saying the
is
truth.
can I Yeah, I'm gonna have you be the person that's the professional person that goes between all my between me and management, between all merchandise deals and all this. You've got the gift of the gab, my friend.
And I appreciate it. But it's been, look, what a couple of months, Joe, it's been for TNA, and it's on the up. The Zone. We have so many platforms, and YouTube fans can catch. If they can't stay up, they can go back and watch it. It's game changing, and TNA is definitely. There's a reason it's trending every week, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's I've a stacker wrestling show up against anybody's. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that. And I would love to be seen as a part of that. That's my goal. I would love to be a guy that shifts, that does numbers for the company. That's my goal here. So yeah, I love to see it.
Definitely. Now, last of all, I've got to mention this. I've got so many people telling me, get Joe back to Ireland. Joe, you wrestled in Cork many times over the
Hmm.
years. You've been at OTT in Dublin, but Rebel County
Hmm.
Wrestling in Cork, they've got a couple of shows coming up. They want to see you there. They said, check your emails, by the way, and
All
OTT
right.
Dublin.
Check my emails, right? Because my yeah, it's been a bit wild over the last
Yeah.
week or so. I'm gonna have to sit down and just get. Hey, it's a good problem to have. A lot of people getting in touch, but I'd love to get back to Ireland. 100%. What did you say? Rebel County Wrestling?
Rebel County Wrestling, they have a show June 15th, and they have many shows beyond. They've been on to you, and I know OTT love you to bits, my man. So they're two
Yeah,
organizations we love to see you come to and return and make
awesome,
some noise in Ireland.
awesome. Well, I hope to see you there as well. Bring that positive attitude. I like it.
I'll be there, my man. But listen, we're going to keep pushing, get you to number one. Eurovision next year. You are the main guy. And look, I want to see you in Moose. Go at it.
Let's do it. Tell everyone. Tell everyone. Spread the word on that one.
I will do. Joe Hendry, it's another as always, my man. You look cool as a breeze for a guy that's been crazy busy all week and beyond. But listen, we will catch you soon, my man. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.